So it's been a while, exactly a week, and it may be a complete coincidence of when I'm coming back on another Patreon prompt. And yep, that's a coincidence. I just happen to have time for like today, maybe tomorrow, probably not the weekend, to do some voiceovers. And also, it's another Patreon by the Flip1234, the prompt, I should say. I'm not picking favorites. They just happen to be the only one who has done prompts so far. And they're a week apart. I think that's fair. Anyway, into the drawing itself. It is a moth person with Cruella de Vil themes. And I just mostly went with the black and white and also the big fur coat. And I'm also basing it off of the original design and not the newer live action ones or anything like that. So I just looked at the old black and white 101 Dalmatians. I said black and white as in like if that was the color of the film, but that's not what I mean. I mean like the design is black and white and then it has red inside the fur coat. That's what I'm going for. Not that it was in black and white colors, because it wasn't. Anyway, I'm going for like the fur coat and the same color scheme. And I am not doing anything of harming any like animals such as dogs, specifically Dalmatians. I'm not doing that. The only way I could do that would be I don't even want to think about it. So I just didn't. This is just a moth person, and they're chill. And they have a black and white color palette with a bunch of red too. And I try to make their fur coat out of like their wings rather than an actual fur coat, because what else are their wings gonna do? Fly? No. Style. For this, I just looked up Fluffy Moth and Cruella de Vil, just to, get the general idea, get the shape of the fur coat, which I don't do until way later, because right now I was thinking of just doing wings that kind of sort of looked like the coat, but I end up changing it to be like, yeah, it's a coat, basically. But for now, they're just weird shapes. And all the black I do on I named it carapace, as the layered title. Moths don't have carapaces, but I just felt that it would be better than having an all white creature with maybe like a couple black spots on it. It also gives me time to practice doing shiny things. Shiny, smooth things, more specifically. Because I don't do those too often. I did nice compound eyes. Not bulging out of their head like a moth on the sides of the head, just in front. This is where the person part of the prompt comes in. And you know me, if you've looked at some of the other times I've done hair, I like making it fluffy, so perfect prompt for me. And I tried to lean more into like the fashion designedness of Cruella, so even if I wasn't doing that, I would probably do some fluff around the neck. I tried to make it scarf-esque and flow into the head hair fluff. I don't know if it's called hair on a moth. Whatever. It's hair now for this specific instance. I also added the fluff in between the joints. Well, not all the joints, but the places where the carapace meets the body, just so it's not some weird hard edge. It's more of a transition. It also brings more unity into the whole design, since there's not just fluff around the head and nowhere else. Except on the knees, because I thought if I did it anywhere, like on the carapace to carapace, that wouldn't really make sense, because there's not really supposed to be fleshy bits there. And hair, to me, at least, feels more like it'd come from fleshier bits rather than some hard shell. I tried to make all this fluff look as moth-esque as I could, so I'm not going for like real hair, because if you look at pictures of fluffy moths, it's kind of, I guess it's thicker is a good way to describe it than like a normal human hair strand. And the way that they're layered, and it's, especially with it being over their whole body, it's not like all coming from, say, a scalp. It's basically like a sheet of hair or fluff, whatever it's called. And now it may be because moths are small, so proportionally the hair strands, I'm just gonna keep calling them hair, look thicker. I don't know. I'm not a moth biologist. I am not a studier of flying insects. I just draw stuff. I also added carapace on the stomach and lower rib cage area, just because I thought it would tie in more stuff, and you know, if you add armor plating to places that flex, it can kind of look cool, even though it'd be really cumbersome and annoying if it were actually like that. Maybe it'd be fine with it being grown on and not attached to like chainmail or something. I don't know. I'm not a bug person. At least, pretty sure I'm not a bug person. That'd be awkward. It's also why I went with 6 limbs, 2 legs, 4 arms, cause bug. Did I actually make sure that moths had 6 limbs? No, I just assumed bug, and so went with 6. I also did look up where moths have ears, because I was thinking of putting ears on the head or not, and then I found out it's like at the base of their wings, and it's kind of just a flat membrane. So that was interesting. Hence why no ears anywhere in the design. Just because moths are weird, I guess. Here I'm adding on to the wings and trying to go more with the Cruella de Vil half black, half white design, because it's nowhere else really, at least like split down the middle half. And also going with the spots where I did it with like the scales of the wings. So one side is much darker, the other side's lighter. And then I also switch up this like webbing to also be inverted. One lighter, one darker. And then, just like in the original Cruella design, where the inside of the fur cloak is red, I made like the inside wings red. And I also added some, what I thought was a pretty cool design. I did it really quick though, so like I could have tried to make it look like actual scaling, but then I thought this looks good enough, and I like it. I don't care if it's not accurate. You can't stop me. This video has already happened and it's the past. Can't change it. And then I add little eyeballs on the wings, just because moths tend to do, you know, mimicry with their wings. Most of the time looking like eyeballs, which even though they don't typically look like that, you know, you get it. They're eyeballs. Eventually here, I decide I'm gonna go all out on the half and half with the Cruella de Vil thing, and I split all the fur right down the middle, and I darken it. I don't do anything with the saturation or the hue, just darken. But I did end up upping the saturation, like right after I hit end recording, so just went to max. It's not that important, it's the same options screen when you change it down, the darkness. And then I went over just to make the transition better, so it wasn't so like a really hard edge between light and dark. And also because I just darkened it, the saturation just disappeared, turned to gray. So I went over that with like some dark reds and whites. And that's really it. Hope you enjoyed. I hope to do some more voiceovers soon, but we'll see. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Bye.